Okay, so here we have to write the decimal equivalent of 4 and 1/8. That means we want to write this mixed number as a decimal. So 4 and 1/8, it's a mixed number, and that means you have 4 whole parts plus 1/8, right? So really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to almost ignore the 4 whole parts for a moment, because whatever decimal we have, it's going to equal 4 point, and then 1/8 will be the digits here after the decimal point, right? So we're trying to find what are these digits here, because we have 4 and some small remainder. So essentially what we need to do now is to turn 1/8, right, into a decimal. That's our goal here. So to do that, this is my general algorithm. I think it's the easiest for me. I take the numerator and divide it by the denominator. So effectively what I'm looking at here is 1 divided by 8. And now will give me the decimal representation I need. To do this though, the one hurdle I really have to overcome is long division. So I'm taking a 1 and dividing it by 8. So 8 doesn't go into 1, does it? Not evenly. But you can think of 1 as 10 and say, well, 8 goes into 10 once. But that's not really 10, that's a 1 with a 0. So proportionally, that's 0.1. And now, what's the remainder? Well, 8 times 0.1 is 0.8, but we just think of it as 8 times 1 is 8. And now we subtract. Well, 1 minus 8, 10 minus 8, this is really 1 minus 0.8, but you can think of it as 10 minus 8, is 2. So there's a remainder of 2. Does 8 go into 2? No, but if you can think of 2 here as 20, that's really 0.20, but it's proportional. 8 goes into 20 twice, right? Or 0.02 times 8 goes into 0.2, 0.02 times, right? That's the proportional relationship there. What's the remainder now? Well, 8 times 2 is 16, right? And we're getting there. 20 minus 16, it's really 0.2 minus 0.16 is 0.04, or 20 minus 16 is 4, and that's our remainder there. But 8 doesn't go into 4, but it does go into 40 evenly, right? I'll just move this so we have enough room. And your goal here, of course, in long division is just basically keep going until you reach 0. So 8 goes into 40, or 0.040, how many times? Well, 0.005, or 8 goes into 40 5 times. So 8 times 5 is 40, and now there's no remainder when you subtract, so you're done. And that's how we can do this, that the decimal equivalent of 1/8 is 0.125. So 4 and 1/8 is equal to 4.125. Other ways that people like to usually convert eighths that I know of, like another popular technique is to find out what is 100 divided by 8. In other words, they try to scale up the fraction of eighths into 100, and that tells them a percent. And what this tells you is 8 goes into 100 how many times? Well, 12 times, and 12 times 8 is 96, with a remainder of 4, right? Did I get that right? Yeah. And it's 4 out of 8, or 1/2, right? So the remainder is 4 out of 8, or 1/2, and that tells you that 1/8, this might help you, equals 12.5 out of 100. And that's a percent, but we're trying to write that as a decimal, and that's a percent. So if you think of this fraction, it's a little bit easier. Why is that? Well, because 12.5 over 100 equals 12.5 divided by 100, and dividing by 100 is wonderful because you just move your decimal twice to the left. So 12.5 becomes 0.125. That's another way people like to think of this fraction equivalent, but whatever works for you. All right, thanks.